name is Chelsea. Something I've been interested in for quite a while is making YouTube videos. I'm constantly watching YouTube and getting inspiration from the YouTubers I watch and the videos I find. Lately, something that I've been getting a lot of joy out of is watching booktube videos. So I thought it would be fun today to make a video of some of my favorite books and also some books that have been keeping me sane during quarantine. So let's get into it. Okay, the first book I want to talk about today is Untamed. I have to talk about this book. Okay, first off, it's by an author I love, Glennon Doyle. If you haven't heard of Glennon, she is an author and an activist. She started Together Rising, which is a all-women-led nonprofit that has revolutionized grassroots philanthropy. To date, they have raised over $20 million for women, families, and children in crisis. I will link them below if you're interested in learning more about the organization or donating. Let's get into the book, Untamed. A little bit about Glennon. She's a recovered alcoholic. I believe that she's been sober for 18 years. She's also struggled with bulimia in the past, as well as anxiety and just general feelings of not feeling very comfortable in her skin. Like I said before, this book is broken up into short essays. Something that Glennon likes to do in this book is she kind of goes between talking about lessons she's learned over the years and then telling a story from her personal life. This book was such a joy to read. I could not set it down. I believe I read it in 2 days. The thing that really touched me about this book is that when I was reading it, I was struck by the fact that it felt like I was sitting down with an old friend and she was sharing her years of wisdom and stories with me. And also, as someone who has struggled or is still struggling with some of the topics that she delved into in this book, I just overall found this book to be a very healing read. The next book that I want to talk about is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. This book is a nonfiction book about the Golden State Killer. If you don't know who the Golden State Killer is, he is a serial killer who terrorized Sacramento, the Bay Area, and parts of Southern California during the 1970s and 1980s. The author Michelle is a crime journalist. Basically, she becomes obsessed with finding the killer. She doesn't have a background in law enforcement. Something that really got me about this book is that despite that, she is able to build relationships with detectives, cops, and just people on the internet that who are also invested in finding this man. This book is incredibly detailed. It details every crime that is attributed to this man, which makes it incredibly heavy and graphic. I found myself tearing up multiple times while reading this, just because of the sheer amount of pain and terror that this man has inflicted. Also, the more I read it, the more I felt connected to not only Michelle, but her deep desire to find him, which you get from reading her writing. Unfortunately, while writing this book, Michelle did pass away, but her husband Peyton was able to finish the book for her, and I just found that really touching. And from what we read in the book, we're led to believe that that is exactly what she would have wanted. You'll have to read this thrilling book to find out if they catch him. The third book I want to talk to you about today is one of my all-time favorite books, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. Another memoir. I love memoirs. I just gravitate towards them. I love reading them. I think it's because they're just so intimate. The author, Paul, was a 36-year-old man training to be a neurosurgeon at Stanford University. He was actually in his last year of residency when, unfortunately, he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. This book details his feelings about being diagnosed. It takes us through the treatment process and also delves into his relationship with his pregnant wife, Lucy, who is also in residency at Stanford. This is hands down the most beautiful book that I have ever read. His writing is just so eloquent, so poetic, and so tender. Every page, honestly, it just overflows with love. Love for himself, love for his family, and then love for the patients that he treats. You get the feeling reading that this was not just a job for him. Being a doctor was that's why he woke up in the morning. This book honestly cracked me open. I am a different, hopefully better version of myself having read this. Alright, that's all I have for you today. These are my favorite books at the moment. If you have any book recommendations, please let me know. As you probably noticed watching this video, I didn't include any fiction. That is because I generally don't read a lot of fiction. It's not something that I naturally gravitate towards, but it's not something that I dislike. So if you have any books that you're really enjoying at the moment, specifically fiction, I would love to read them. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below, and I will see you in the next video.